nice to see you, Oweth. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you, Ayanda, in a long time. I think we last saw each other at
Oh,
the airport when you were flying Ethiopian
is
Airlines,
in Ethiopia. Yes.
and my flight
Yes.
got delayed. The KQ flight got delayed. I even decided I will never ever fly KQ again. The Kenya
Let,
Airways.
let me let me tell you something. I will never ever fly Ethiopian Airways ever again.
It seems like we both
The
had bad
experience,
experiences on that return flight.
hey man, the experience with Ethiopian Airways was something else, I must say. Like it was crazy to say the least. And you know what the worst thing is? Somebody warned me in advance and said that, listen, you up
Mm.
for a lot of shit with Ethiopian Airways.
Okay.
And I'm like, what's wrong with them? And I'm like, well, they're flying. I've never heard negative stuff about them or anything like that. And then the
Mm-hmm.
next thing, I don't know if you remember Andre. There was a guy, Andre, that
Mm-hmm.
we were in
Yeah, I
Seychelles with.
remember the white
And Andre lost.
big guy, the white guy, the
Yes,
yeah.
yes. And he lost, they lost his luggage. I had to borrow him clothes,
What?
and Anesu as well from Zimbabwe. I got him a t-shirt as well
Oh my
because, they
God.
had lost his luggage.
Oh
That's
my
hectic.
God. So all the time we were in Seychelles, they were using your clothes.
No, no, no. Like, lucky enough, the clothes came the next day.
Ah,
So
okay.
that day that we went to that island,
Yeah, the Silhouette
the clothes
Island.
they yes, Silhouette Island. So they got their clothes after Silhouette Island. When we went back to the hotel, that's when their luggage was back. So they never had their luggage the previous day. So, for example, Anesu, obviously,
Mhm.
because he's like a size 28 and I'm a size 40, I just
Yeah.
gave him a t-shirt. But then, Andre, at least with him, he's big, I'm big, and it fitted him.
Yeah.
But then he was wearing exactly the same clothes he was wearing when
Oh,
he left Zimbabwe.
wow. That's quite bad experience, I must say.
Yeah.
But I've never really had a bad review about Ethiopian Airlines. But my sister had warned me as well about KQ delaying flights.
Mm.
Can you imagine? I was supposed to fly at noon. Then they rescheduled to 4 p.m. 4 p.m. we were still at the airport waiting. They send me a WhatsApp message telling me KQ flight is boarding, and we can't see the flight. So I go to the
Mm.
airport attendees and I ask them what's going on, and they're like, the KQ flight will be here in a bit. They are as well delayed that 4 p.m. flight. So I was reaching in
What?
Nairobi at around 8 p.m. and I was supposed to be hosting another webinar the same day, so I had to cancel that. But anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in to tonight's webinar. We're sorry we just started catching up on old stuff. Last time I saw Ayanda was in August, I think the 21st or 22nd. It's good to see you again in person, but online. Um,
Yeah.
I think we might ask our attendees to tell us where they're joining us from, and then I'm gonna read out Ayanda's trading bio, which is quite large actually. I'm gonna summarize it, and then we will delve into today's topic. But yeah, nice to see you
Don't
guys.
you think maybe perhaps if we start at exactly 7 p.m. or a little after 7 p.m.?
It's now 7:59 p.m. Nairobi time.
Oh,
Um,
oh, oh, yes.
so it's
Well,
like
I'm an
it's
hour
actually
behind
8
you.
p.m. Yeah. It's actually 8
Oh,
p.m.
okay.
Yeah, my time.
Okay, look, okay, well, your show. Let's go ahead.
All right, guys. Wethu, Shibi, Keegan, and Kevin, could you unmute yourselves? We can start with Chibi, and then Keegan, and then Kevin. Tell us where you're joining us from, and then we can get started. I like engaging with our audience because we do this for them. So it would be nice to hear from you guys. You can let us
Yeah,
know
sure.
where you're joining us from.
Yeah, certainly. I'm just having issues with my camera. Apologies for not seeing me currently.
Cool, man.
Am I audible though? Loud and clear.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you are
loud and clear,
audible.
man.
All right. Yeah, thank you for actually I want to thank Ayanda for actually sharing the link so I can actually join this meeting. It is my first time. I've seen in the past that he's actually shared these type of links before. Today I just decided, let me just see what this is about. Maybe it could actually help me in my line of business as well. So yeah, Owe to Chibi, that's my name, surname, currently in Sandton, South Africa. So I am a representative for international broker, which is CWG Markets. Not sure if you guys have probably heard of it. If you have, then yeah, that would be
Mm,
awesome as well. So
yeah.
yeah, so I'm just a representative for them, and I think it's about heading to 3 months. But however, I've been working in the brokerage industry for quite about 2 to 3 years now. So yeah,
All
I just
right.
need to find out more on partnerships and so forth. Yeah.
All right. Nice to meet you. We can hear from Keegan, then Kevin, then we have Promax I-17, HS-17. Doesn't have a name, but yeah. Where are you joining
I've got
us
an
from?
idea who it is.
Okay, good day, everyone. My name is Keanu. I'm from the Eastern Cape. I'm a young trader that has gotten into the business for a couple of years now, and I am working towards being an IB. And I'm currently busy with my FCI license, and as well as next year I'm going to study my RE1 and my RE5.
Okay. And what are you looking forward to
Nice.
learn today in this webinar? Um,
I'm looking forward to learn more about the IB business and how it really runs through thoroughly, and how it goes really deep into treating its clients and how to handle um certain emergencies, that if something were to go bad, how does the IB as an individual, how do you handle things in terms of approaching your clients when something goes bad or something goes well?
all right. Yeah. We have like the
Ooh.
expert of IB business tonight. So you'll be covered. You'll be covered. Yeah, Kevin, and then our other guest whose name is anonymous. Yeah, could you unmute yourselves and then we can get started because we don't have a lot of time. We have like 40 minutes to get everything done, and also we'll have like a Q&A for our attendees. I think guys will join as we go. So you can maybe chat on the chat section and just tell us where you're joining us from and what you're expecting to learn in today's webinar. So our theme for tonight's webinar is basically IB partnerships. We'll also delve into prop firms a little bit, and then we'll also cover any questions related with affiliates, sub-affiliates, and everything to do with brokerage services. So for Ayanda, allow me to just summarize his trading bio, or I can just read it out loud and then you can pick um, whatever sparks your interest. We have like a very special guest from Joburg today. Yesterday, I also had his friend Barney from Joburg. I think they're kind of like neighbors because I see them having drinks every so often on weekends. I just see WhatsApp status
Really such
updates
a
and I'm like,
great guy, man.
you guys should you should give me a work visa to South Africa so I can join you, but we'll discuss that later. Yeah, so
Definitely.
yeah, so Ayanda, aka Dollar Pair, is widely recognized in the financial trading industry. Um, in the financial trading industry by his moniker, aka Dollar Pair. Basically, that's his name. That's how his nickname is. For some time, he's a seasoned professional trader with 14 years of experience. He's exemplified a unique evolution from tech to the pinnacle of forex and CFD brokerage. His journey began in the foundation of world of IT, where he honed his problem-solving and technical support skills as an IT support technician. This early experience provided a critical understanding of the systems that underpin modern digital businesses. Ayanda then transitioned into the dynamic online sector, gaining valuable insights into risk, user engagement, and digital operations while working online for casinos. Oh, I didn't know you actually worked in casinos. Then after that, he naturally pivoted towards the high-stakes world of finance that led him to the trading industry. Ayanda started on the front lines of mastering the art of communication and value propositions as a salesperson, and also engaging in trading education. This role equipped him with an in-depth understanding of the trader, psychology, and educational needs of the market. He built on this experience, progressing to become an IB, that's an introducing broker for a number of brokerage firms, successfully building a client base and learning the intricacies of partnership. I think the last time we spoke, Ayanda, you had like 11,000 clients to scope market. So that's like a stellar performance. His proven track record
Yeah,
and
I think
business acumen soon saw him elevated to a business development role, where he was instrumental in shaping partnership strategies and driving growth for the brokers he worked for and those he worked with. After that, he became a master IB. He's now a respected name with successful partnerships, results-driven understanding of the retail landscape. He has also delved into prop trading recently. Through his extensive hands-on experience, Ayanda identifies the most strategic and lucrative path for his expertise operating as a master IB, and the realization marked a significant turning point in his career. He leveraged on his vast network, deep knowledge, and comprehensive understanding with broker and trader needs, established himself as a powerful and reliable bridge between brokers and their target markets. Wow, I have never read such a long trading bio.
mm.
But yeah, it's truly
Wow.
an honor to host you
Mm.
tonight.
Even for me, I'm like, wow.
Yeah, quite some 14 years of experience and in the game is not a mean feat. We have people who start and quit by year three. So to have you and to see you still at it to date is quite impressive. Guys, we have guys tuning in from Joburg. What's KZN? KZN? Or okay, Minister of Finance.
KwaZulu Natal.
Ah, that's also in Joburg. Okay. And then we have a
In South
representative.
Africa, in another province.
Ah, okay. All right, guys. So we'll have a mix of Kenyans and South Africans, and we invite everybody to our trading podcast. We have like an African footprint, but our audience is global. So everybody, welcome. So Ayanda, please just tell us when you started trading, how did you bump into trading and what makes you active to date? Because I've seen like most of your work has been featured around IB business, master IB. And I think you started this start prop farm, what I can see on your logo t-shirt, or is it like now you're delving more into prop farm trading?
Yeah.
What's the transition between both businesses? Why prop farm trading for you? And also what has been your experience as a master IB?
So look, I started, well, about 14 years ago, working for a sensation company in college. Working for Stock Market College, I sold trading education. By the way, Stock Market College is one of the oldest trading education companies in Africa, I would say. They've been around for 23 years. And I started with them. I used to sell education like on a face-to-face, type of a situation where you would book appointments, go sell trading education to people. I worked my way up from there, to a sales manager, to I'm an area manager to then obviously at some point I ran my own stock market college franchise. So I'm gonna mention stock market college quite a bit, and I'll tell you why, as I go along, because my current setup right now with the prop firm has got a lot to do with them. The guy who owns Stock Market College, Hardes van Pletzen, I feel like came up with a genius idea of an ecosystem where, as a trader, you are exposed to education, um, you are exposed to live trading, and obviously, the prop firm space. So, after having worked with Stock Market College for a while, I decided, you know what, I want to branch out, on my own. I started working, for some local brokers and a couple of international brokers where I was working as an IB. And obviously, being an IB, I met a lot of other IBs. I made a lot of good relationships with IBs in the industry. And, just like that, I decided, hey, why don't I, become a business developer, and recruit IBs into other brokers, where a guy called Robin Benting gave me an opportunity at a company called Infinox, which was an international broker. There I did exceptionally well, and I realized, oh, I'm actually good at this. From there on in, I worked for another broker as a business developer, and then soon after that, I realized, oh no, man, I don't want to be going to work every day, sitting in front of a computer, being told when to come into work, when to go out. So, I felt like, as an IB, I had that freedom. And as a business developer, I went on and I lost that freedom again. And then I, discovered the whole master IB thing where I can actually, still be an IB and, bring in other sub IBs under me. I feel like it was a way for me to scale my business and, create opportunity for bigger income, because obviously as a master IB, you wanna you refer other IBs to the business, and obviously you get commissions and you get rewarded for that. However, I spent my time, as a master IB, it went very well. I bounced around brokers. Reason being is that, for a lack of a better word, I worked with a lot of shit brokers. I was screwed around, getting promised things and, never happened. But, fast forward to where I am right now. I am an IB with another broker. However, I'm running this whole prop firm thing with Stock Market College Quick Trade and my own prop firm called Africa Funded. Not only do I have the prop firm as my own, but then I also help other people to start their own prop. Fast forward to 2025, as an IB or as a master IB, you want to scale your business, you want to get into certain, how can I say, parts of the trading industry that can increase your income. And I came to learn, from personal experience that the prop firm business is a lucrative business. The money made in the prop firm space, running a prop firm of your own would have people questioning if whether or not are you a drug dealer. That's how much money I've seen and I've been exposed to, in the prop firm space. So I feel like anybody right now, who's a business developer, who's an introducing broker, you gotta scale, man. Sometimes, there's no growth across, and the only growth that you can have is growth up into a position where, you own something of your own, because apart from just the prop firm, you are also exposed into a situation where you kind of own your own gray label broker, where again, it becomes extremely lucrative because people can trade on prop firm, they can trade on live trading accounts, and obviously there's the education side of things. And I feel like it's a no-brainer for anybody in the industry, to say that, if you want to grow, you want to expand, or you want to open avenues to bigger and better income. Hell, man, the prop firm space is booming right now. I believe
Okay.
all over Africa and around the world, actually, it's doing very well. And right now, it's something that I'm putting a lot of focus into. And yeah, man, it's been going exceptionally well. I'm very happy with everything. We've got, an extremely, very, very, very good trading platform called Match Trader. And speaking on Match Trader as well, a lot of people, are exposed only to meta quotes. So your MT4, your MT5, and I just want to upfront tell people what a load of rubbish meta quotes is. However, platforms like Match Trader that integrate everything onto one single system. Quick Trade has got a hybrid version of the platform that includes a prop firm, a live account, a demo account, a competition account, all in one space. Like, you don't move around, you don't go to a back office to deposit your money and do all of that. Everything happens under one single interface, which is like
Okay.
exceptional. So yeah, at the moment, that's what I do. That's where I am. That's where I'm deep in.
All right. And you did mention a couple of terms that might be very like sort of like a jargon to newbies or beginning traders, as well as some seasoned traders. Maybe you can tell us the difference between a white label and you did mention a green label. Especially
A gray label.
yeah, you can tell us like the difference between
Mhm.
those two,
Okay,
especially in brokerage. And then
so
for match, you said it's match traders or match
yes, match trader.
match trader. Yeah, I had one of my former colleagues from Next Markets join match trader, and she organizes events. I saw you went to Dubai recently. Maybe you can touch a little bit on that as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me start with the gray label, and where another broker with a server will onboard you as call it like a sub IB maybe, or a sub broker, where you have your own branded platform with whatever you want to call it, Sylvia Markets or Ayanda Markets. And obviously, as a result of that, you would need to find PSPs that you connect. You would need to have a CRM, you would need to have an accounts department. There's a lot of things that go into running your own brokerage. It's not as easy as people think it is, and it's a very, very, very costly exercise. Whereas with a gray label, for example, in the specific case of the prop firm business and quick trade, what happens is that you get a plug and play solution, to run trade, being your liquidity provider and your technology provider and support and all of that. And you, without you having to pay possibly 100,000 US dollars to start up and build, and obviously the overheads as well become a big contributing factor, when you can actually for $1,000 start something that eventually you can grow into a white label or grow into a full blown broker. So it gives you the opportunity to somewhat trial out what it is to run and own your own broker, at a penny of the cost of what it would cost you to run your own broker. So I hope that answers that question. Going into my trip to Dubai. So myself and my partner Harbis van Pletzen from Quick Trade and Stock Market College went to Dubai. I think it was about 3, 4 weeks ago. We went to Dubai. We went to the Dubai Forex Expo, which is like the biggest Forex Expo in the world. So much that, the event that we had this year actually made it into the Guinness book of records, so there was record attendance there. And the point behind that was to network, obviously to also put Start Prop Firm today out there. And we networked, we met people, we had meetings, we had some cool guys that we met. Obviously, we met Match Trader. And it was an opportunity to connect with people, to put the whole Start Prop Firm thing out there. And we actually, as we were there, met some other, prop firm, people who help people start prop firms. And I can tell you that categorically and by far, we are the best and cheapest option that we came across during our time in Dubai. But yeah, man, and then we stayed until I think we stayed about 2 weeks where we attended another event called by Xylostar. Now, Xylostar is like a master IB, like myself, and they had this event, for top IBs and people and whatever not. So at the Museum of the Future in Dubai. And yeah, man, that was very cool. We made some very good connections. We made some very cool people. And yeah, man, like it's an experience and a half. I feel like as a trader or somebody in the industry, please, man, next year make yourself some time to go there. And it's a breath of fresh air. You get exposed and you get to see people, in the industry that you can link up with or learn from. I thought that was very, very, very cool.
All right. And then sorry to say, but sometimes in the brokerage industry, people get to be screwed over. It's like someone is just like openly taking advantage of you, and you're the one giving them business. I had an instance where I did some business development for a brokerage firm. I don't want to mention the name because they're gonna see this
Why not? Why
interview.
not? Why
But
not?
I
Why
gave
not?
them
Mention names, scope markets,
no,
a bunch
I
of
gave them
rubbish nonsenses.
no, I gave them some business for like 3 months. Okay, for your case it was Cope Markets, but I'm talking about another
Yeah,
broker, and I gave them business for like three
okay.
months, and they didn't even pay me a single dime, not a dollar, not a shilling,
Yeah.
not
How
nothing.
much? How much did you
Um,
bring them?
I give them about 10 solid high-end net worth clients, and nothing came back
Mhm.
in terms of commissions, rebates, or even just
I mean, the value of the money that you gave them during that time, how much was it?
in terms of trading volumes, I think it was about $100,000 from the 10
A hundred
clients.
thousand.
Yeah, it
Wow,
might
man.
it might
Let me
not
tell
be
you. Let,
a
let me tell
huge
you something
amount,
so cool.
but
Mm.
the point I'm trying to make here is what can you tell introducing brokers or even master IBs from the get-go once they go and sign that first contract with a broker? What loopholes do they need to check or not ignore so that they don't get screwed over? Because honestly, in this industry, everyone is looking out for themselves. And you want a broker who's
Of
also
course.
has your best interest at heart. And yeah, guys, if you
Mhm.
have questions, feel free to type them in the chat section as we go. I can see Chibi has raised his hand. We'll have a Q&A session. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
So let me go with your first. Well, you have one question there, but before I get to that question, I want to tell you, I would have like if you would have brought 100,000 US dollars, in the current setup that I have, you would have easily been able to make 50,000 US dollars for you in commission straight in your pocket. Okay, but again, we'll talk about that again a little later on. But identifying a broker that is gonna be reliable or not screw you over is kind of very hard, and I would say maybe close to impossible, because you never know beforehand if they're gonna screw with you or not. But I think that one of the most important things that you need to look out for is obviously licensing. I would say that if you're looking to partner with a broker, you gotta be sure that they actually licensed, and you wanna actually verify that license that they have, because anybody can just put anything there and claim to be, licensed under a certain conduct authority when they actually not. I would say as well, testimonies and trust pilot reviews also help a lot. There's certain brokers out there, who have major scandals that, they've cheated people before, they've not paid IBs before. For example, a broker like Scope Markets, you wanna you wanna somewhat make sure that you hear from other people and they experience, and obviously sometimes I feel like when there's an office in your region as well, it helps a lot. Although some of the international brokers are operating out of countries such as Cyprus and Seychelles or whatever it is,
Mhm.
it's always like a green flag if they have a local office that you can actually go to and thingy and see what's going on and see people there. And I think as well you need to be very careful in terms of the compensation plan that they give you. A lot of brokers can compensate you in various ways. There's compensation through P&L, there's compensation through rebates, there's compensation through spread revenue. So sometimes a broker can pay you through one of those methods. Some brokers, that are, how can I say, advanced enough, are also able to pay you on a hybrid type of a setup where you get paid rebates, P&L, and a combination of something else, or rebates and P&L, however it is. But then, you need to do proper checks when it comes to that, because now that will also determine your compensation and how much money you're going to make from that broker. So you need to be able to know where your strength is, in terms of, like, maybe are you a person who's got a lot of traders who are trading a lot of big volumes or whatever it is, or maybe are your traders more on the losing side, where obviously you would want to be more on the P&L side. So, there's a lot to it, and there's a combination of things that you need to look out for. But I think licensing and reviews is top of my list to look out for.
All right, all right. Well answered, well answered. Okay, so I saw someone had raised their hand. Kindly, you can actually unmute yourself, Chibi, and ask Ayanda. I'm gonna give you guys special thing that we've never done before, so you can outrightly ask your question to the guest speaker for today. And then I'm gonna send a new link because this link is gonna expire in like 4 minutes. So as we start the Q&A, I'm gonna send a new link. We will all migrate to that Zoom link. So meanwhile, please ask your question to Ayanda, Mr. Chibi.
I think we can go with Owetu. He already put something there that I can quickly answer for him. He says, I
Yeah.
want to know how to approach IBs in the South African region, where they want upfront money to bring business, and what's my take on this. Okay. Wait, let me tell you one thing, man. Like, most of the time, an IB that's gonna come and ask for an upfront, of a ridiculous amount before they bring you any business, has ulterior motives, from my experience, where you're gonna pay them the upfront and they're possibly gonna disappear. However, there's traders and IBs whom I have given upfronts to, that have not done the work. There's IBs that I've given money to and they've done the work, but still performed poorly. And then there's IBs that I've given money to and they've actually went out and did exactly what they said they were going to do. And there's no real telling Owetu, bruh. Like it's all risk. I think before you give anybody any money, do extensive research on them. Check out the image. Tell them instead of them just sending you screenshots, tell them to make a recording of themselves logging onto the dashboard to see what numbers that they have
Yeah.
depositors and all of that are contributing factors to how you can determine if whether or not you want to give a person an upfront. And if you're really, really pressed and you really, really want to give that person the upfront, don't give it to them all at one go. If somebody comes to you and they ask, for example, for 10,000 Rand, you would be stupid to give them the 10,000 Rand altogether. So what I've come to formulate, and I believe again, I've got one of the best IB contract plans where I would say to an IB, listen, buddy, fair enough, you want 10 grand. No problem. I'll give you 10 grand. However, we're gonna break it down into 4. I
Okay.
hope Owetu is still here because Owetu, you're still here. Great, man. Um, so what I was explaining now is to say that you now take that 10,000 Rand that they ask for and you break it down into 4. And you tell them, listen, buddy, no problem. I'll give you money up front, okay? However, initially, I'll give you 25% of the money that you've asked for, which would be 2,500 Rand. And next week, you will be able to identify if someone is screwing around with you or not. Okay. I don't think that in order for you to establish if somebody is what they say they are, would take longer than a week. So after a week, you give them performance metrics, you give them KPIs to meet for the week, or not even KPIs or nothing, but then you just want to see the activity that they bring in, and what you see in the activity that they bring in will give you a very good idea if whether or not they're a good IB or a shit IB. So after the first week, you would give them, obviously the second batch of money, which would be the other 2,500, if they've actually completed the tasks that you've told them. So I would say, at least one post a day across all of your social medias. To bring, or how many clients you want them to sign up or whatever it is, but then on a weekly basis. So from there on into week 3, again, you wait, you see, and then you give them the money. On week 4, you wait, you see, and then you give them the money. By the time you get to week 4, you will easily be able to determine if whether or not it's bullshit or it's actually genuine, and you're gonna get whatever it is that the IB promises. And then from there, you obviously, how can I say, you obviously carry on or cut off the relationship, but then you would have had enough time to see how this person's performance will go, from day 1 or week 1 to week 4 or day 30 or whatever it is.
All right. So Ayanda, you're also
Yeah, sure.
I hope, Chibi, we've answered your question in full. You can confirm if that's okay. Then we can move to the other questions I had.
Yeah, certainly. I am answered.
Mm,
It's just a matter of I did also just type in another follow-up question as to
mm,
what he answered, Ayanda, which actually does make sense. However, um, as a representative for a broker, my regional director is at the point where he's actually saying, you know what, no upfront whatsoever, right?
mm,
We well, on gold, especially, we offer about $20 to $25 a lot,
Uh-huh.
rebates, on which that's the main instrument that I'm trying to push to an extent where I'm trying to build a gold community, because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've been seeing what gold has been doing for the past month or so, especially with the whole US government shutdown happening. So I believe maybe that's one of the main instruments that have been highly traded for the past month or two. It's made some people some money, it's made some people blow accounts. Either way, yeah, that's part of the game. But
The game,
my
of
follow-up
course.
question to that is what I've actually posted to say that now the affiliates in
Mm.
South African region don't necessarily add value to their clients. The reason why I'm saying that is I've joined a lot of group chats on WhatsApp, Telegram, to an extent where I've actually searched on Google, and I've certainly came to a point to realize that, what, IBs don't necessarily give their clients, or traders rather, the value to say that, hey man, look, this is who I am, this is what I'm about, and this is what I can do for you. Instead,
Mm.
they're much focused on how I look as an IB. This is who I am
Mm.
on social media. This is the number of followers I have, and to an extent,
Mm.
it's almost as if it's false advertising to an extent, because
Yeah.
now we have this guy who's new to forex, wants to, is dedicated to actually know more about this industry, forex trading
Mhm.
itself, and then comes across an IB where they met online that says, "Hey man, I'm setting this course for this couple of rands, and this is what I can do
Mhm.
for you," to an extent where actually the trader's been bullshitted to an extent,
So you're saying
Okay.
they're focusing
Look,
on the lifestyle than on the value proposition to their clients.
Exactly. Exactly. That's my major problem with
mm,
IBs in our South African region. And it's mainly this
um,
side. Exactly.
let me tell you a way to, man. You've touched on a very, very, very important, um, how can I say, you've touched on a very important topic. I think right now the audience that we have in South Africa, I would say, is very gullible, and they believe a lot in what they see on social media. So what that essentially means is that, people want to see from you if whether or not, are you making money, or what car do you drive, or where do you live, or what can you show, as an individual, or as a person that you have, in order to convince me that I'm going to make money with you. You know, there's no real, way around it. But I feel you yourself as a way to, need to take upon the exercise of actually educating your IBs, okay, on what's right and what's wrong. Like for example, me myself, and along with my partner, we've started something called IB Academy, where we actually teach IBs, how to run the IB business, what to do, what not to do, compliance and all of that, what to stay away from, how to actually add value to your
Mhm.
clients, that you have, obviously, because the adding value part is critical. A lot of them, obviously offer all of this education signals and whatever not, which is part of adding value, but they don't really practice it as well or as much as they should. I feel like, as the business developer, you need to take it upon yourself to teach these IBs what they need to do and how to go about running their own business. Obviously, there's certain steps and behaviors that make a successful IB. Now, as a business developer, you need to look at those, break them down, and help. your IBs to actually develop into super IBs. Because if there's one thing that I did well in my time as a business developer, and I give myself a pat in the back and I commend myself for that, is that I've been able to grow, little IBs into massive IBs. There's an example of an IB that I started with about 3 years ago or so. And right now, last month, he sent me, a screenshot of his performance at the current broker that he's at, where he did $1 billion US in trading volume, and he had about 250,000 US
Wow.
dollars in deposits. And this is a guy that I grew like
Yeah.
from scratch. Another IB that used to be working with me recently opened up his own broker. I feel like, if your IBs listen to your teachings and everything as a business developer, you put them at a better chance of them succeeding. You as the business developer need to teach them a way to. If you don't teach them, then obviously, they're never gonna know.
Yeah, and also, um, I would like to give a shout out to our partner brokers at this time. So one of the affiliate partners that we closely work with here in Nairobi is this HFM Kenya, and also another broker that's licensed in South Africa, but they're looking to set up offices in Kenya. It's called TB Globe. It's a woman-led power kind of a new broker. It's barely 3 years in, but they have like the best trading platforms for beginning and seasoned traders. So I'd love to mention them at this point. I can see Keanu is asking, I'm a young lad looking into becoming an IB. Reputation is important. How fragile is your reputation when you're starting out, and what's the best way to get clients?
Yeah, look, Keanu, man, like it's reputation is everything in this business. You want to protect your reputation with everything. Because obviously there's IBs that I've had in the past, who start off as good IBs, and as time goes on, fall off the wagon in terms of them, doing things that are not kosher, or doing things that are not cool to do to clients or whatever not. I'm talking now about scamming clients, trading on behalf of clients and blowing their accounts and whatever not. It could be detrimental to your IB career, if you do such things. And I think the important thing is to say, stay away from things that are attached with negativity. Stay away from, taking people's monies and scamming people, or, stay away from investment plans or investment promises, especially when you are not licensed to be, giving such advice, whether it be signals as well. You want to stay away from giving signals, unless if you become a juristic rep under a company, or a certain broker puts you in the register in order for you to give trading advice. Otherwise you want to stay out of it. And your second question on what's the best way to get clients. Keanu, man, you need to, how can I say, you need to use social media to the best that you possibly can. I always say consistently posting, add value to your posts, and put content that's engaging, to your audience, so that people can speak to you, and you also be responsive of what the people are asking and they're saying. And that way, you'll be able to build a community that actually trusts you, and a community that will actually stick with you. Because another big thing, is that you can post a link out there, people will click on it, they'll sign up, they'll make one deposit, and then they'll disappear. So there's also the retention side. You want to be able to retain these people by keeping them engaged, by adding value, giving education, giving teaching, and obviously, proposing setups to them rather than giving them signals so that they can actually think for themselves how they're going to go about executing those trades rather than you saying to them, buy Euro USD, take profit, stop loss. I mean, for me, I feel like people who do that or people who take that type of advice in the form of signals are reckless, and it's an easy way for you to lose money because you're buying Euro USD, but then you don't even know why you're buying it. The moment your signal provider disappears, then you are screwed. As the trader, because you rely so much on this person, whereas you can actually go out and learn how to trade and do it yourself rather than relying on someone. So yeah, man. I
A
think
hundred percent.
consistency, posting, and having good content will take you a long way.
100%, I
Yeah.
agree. I'm so happy that you've started like one of a kind, an IB academy. I know there are trading academies where people actually teach people how to trade. And the
Mhm.
signals business, I tend to tell people it's a shortcut way of learning how to trade because if that person, I just tell them
Mm.
if your strategy provider or if your signal service provider happens to die, for example, God forbid they die today, does that mean that your trading business ends on that particular day? So you need to have a long-term vision for your business because at the end of the day, trading is a business and you're looking to actually have a career built out of that ecosystem. And careers have been made from academies, careers have been made in brokerage, careers have been made in copy trading as well. It's all a matter of once you have your foot in, then you identify what works for you and you actually become an expert and a master at it. Like, be so good that whatever company that you're working with is sees you as an indispensable. Like, they cannot just replace you. They cannot just wake up and say Ayanda is gone because they see the kind of traction that Ayanda is bringing, whether it's in terms of volumes traded or clients signed up, or if it's the master IB, for instance, he's bringing in good business, so we cannot afford to let him go. And then another thing, I think, Ayanda, you can tell us how can people get in touch with you? There's a question that came in terms of the IB Academy. Do you charge for that class and how much does
Okay.
it cost and how can people get in touch with you?
So the IB Academy, man, is more um of something like a union. It more of something like, like a COSATU uh, that we have here in South Africa, or a NUMSA, or whatever it is. What I want to do with this IB Academy is that I want to contribute to making the IB business great again. You know, Obviously, there is a certain amount that we charge for a membership. Obviously, that will also help us to determine, who are the serious people and who are the people who are just wasting our time. Because I can start an IB Academy today and 1,000 people say, yes, I want to be part of the academy. But when I do a meeting or I do a session, only two people pitch. So I feel like sometimes, when you pay for something, you actually value it more because you're going to turn around now and you're going to think, oh crap, I have to pay for this thing. There's a monthly fee that I pay for this thing, and I want to get my money's worth. And I've made it so easy and so low. I mean, when I say low, we charge like the membership fee is $29 a month. It's a minimal amount, that you get to pay in order for you to get access to all of this education, tips, advice, from experienced people. The individual with whom I'm partnered with in this venture, is a guy with vast, extensive experience in the industry. He's actually been running his own broker for about 12 years as well, So, we bring together quite a wealth of experience in the industry. And, we're out there to teach people to help them grow and scale, the IB business in such a way that, you can go from zero to hero if you listen and you follow, the teachings that we have in the IB Academy. So yeah, the monthly membership fee is $29.
So it's like a subscription fee that you pay monthly and
Yes,
it's renewable.
yes,
Okay.
of course.
Okay,
Yeah. So
that's
currently,
That's affordable.
yeah, I mean, like, hell, if you can't, give $29 for something that is gonna help you make money and grow your business, then I feel like, again, it separates the time wasters from the serious people.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, and yeah, like I tell people you need to invest in yourself because people think that once
Mm,
they get a degree and they're out of university, that's where the learning ends. And
mm,
that is actually where the
mm,
learning starts because can you imagine you find your footing in a new industry, you've never been taught about money the way you can be taught
mm,
about trading, and people just like forget to read books, they forget to invest in themselves. I tell people you need to be buying a book every month. Like you need to be reading something
mm,
every month. And it
mm,
doesn't
mm,
necessarily have to be trading related, but it just expands your
mm,
mind into the aspects of life that you can learn from. And when you get to
mm,
hear from other people relate to authors as mentors, these are people who invest
mm,
in your intelligence, and I think that actually that $30, call it $30 because it's 29 point something, call it $30, it's something worth investing in yourself, I think. I think it's a brilliant idea. And I think you should actually expand it outside of South Africa and maybe have like an African
definitely.
footprint to it because you're gonna have so many people who are not just in brokerage, but they're in the trading ecosystem that would
Mm,
definitely use your 14 years of experience in the industry. I think the
uh,
last question before we also take a few more
mhm,
questions would be you're very big on risk management. I don't know whether it's because you also started out in IT, and also in IT, there's an element of risk management to it. Transitioning now from brokerage to prop firm trading, I think it cuts across, risk management cuts across every aspect of a trader's life cycle. What can you tell us about that?
mhm.
And then I would like to also acknowledge the presence of one of my Ivy League traders here. We have Mark. He's one of, you see the way you say like you have a union in South Africa. So he started like an Ivy League
Yes.
community for Kenyan traders where we
Oh,
usually have
wow.
like roundtable
Wow.
discussion talks every week. And we get to meet together once
Mhm.
every quarter for like a traders hangout because trading is very serious and very lonely. And so, yeah, so in addition to the guys from South Africa, I'd also love to mention Chibi, then Keanu, Kelvin, and everybody else who's joined in. We have an anonymous person with an iPhone 15 also. Thanks for streaming in. So yeah, Ayanda, that would be my final question, and then you can maybe highlight to us something that you really wanted to talk about today, but we haven't addressed for any reason. And also maybe what would be like your trading takeaway for anyone who's watching this webinar for them to remember?
Okay. On the risk management, factor, again, I'm just one person who believes, by managing risk, you avoid a lot of things. And funny enough, one of the reasons why I grew so attached to the idea of the prop firm thing is that prop firms are one of the best ways you can educate yourself on managing risk. Because what prop firms do is that you go out there, you get a huge amount of money to trade with. Yes, it gives you more equity and it gives you more, movement and how can I say, trading power. However, the most important thing and critical thing is the rules that come along with trading a prop firm account. The rules that come with trading a prop firm account are the exact definition of a risk management. Okay. Because everything there, obviously, you've got a daily loss limit, you've got normally what you call this a certain amount of money that you're not allowed to lose before they kick you out. And they take you through three phases where you get evaluated, number one, on if whether or not can you trade, can you manage risk very well, do you follow the rules of what it is to be a trader, where you're not risking your entire account, to full margin, payday every day type of nonsense. You are actually in a situation where you are forced to manage the risk. I think it's critical, it's very important. If anybody here listening, even after this, get yourself a prop firm account and trade a prop firm account and see what it's like. I can tell you right now, it will sharpen you. It will make you a double-edged sword when it comes to trading. You will become a better trader as a result of doing a prop firm challenge, which is essentially, a whole test of risk management, if I put it in very short words.
All right. We have two final questions. I'd like Keanu to unmute himself and ask Ayanda his question, and then we'll finalize with Chibi, and then we'll get a comment from Mark, and then we'll call it off for today. But yeah, we'd love to have you again, Ayanda. I think this topic is very wide. We cannot conclude everything in one session. And then also maybe one of the sessions you can come with one of maybe your students, especially like the one you said you held him for 3 years and now he has his own brokerage firm. Such testimonials would actually be very good for a fireside chat where you can have a
For
dual
sure.
conversation in the next session that we may plan for sometime in 2026. So Keanu, please
For
unmute
sure.
yourself. Keanu, then Chibi.
I think Keanu's message, Keanu's question is already there. He said your payout percentage on the prop firm is 50% compared to bigger prop firms. Will the payout percentage decrease to 30% or less, for example? Keanu, no, it won't decrease. Instead, it can actually increase, where you can even get up to 80% of the profit share. So our prop firm, solution is so cool that, it comes with add-ons, meaning that you can have an add-on where the minimum days for trading are increased, or you can increase the leverage, or you can increase the daily drawdown limits. um, it can actually go up to 80%, but then those are add-ons that you get on top of the prop firm account that you get in order to increase your chances of it. Okay. And then someone here said something.
How difficult,
Let me just get to the next one.
Chibi is asking, how difficult is it to work with affiliates or IBs abroad, knowing that there is a gray area in Africa to expand? I'm not sure if this makes sense, but
Let me
can I elaborate?
yes,
Okay, so I
let,
think
let me
when
answer him. Let me answer him. I've got the
yeah,
answer to it. Away to my brother. The sky is the limit, spread your wings. Don't only focus on South African IBs. One of the reasons why I attend, expos in Dubai and countries outside of South Africa is because I've come to the understanding that being a business developer or a master IB in South Africa, there's a lot of struggles that you go through in terms of limitations of, how many IBs you can get and whether or not the performance is, good and it's going to be enough for you to meet your business development, targets or whatever it is. So my advice is to you, a way to expand your wings, brother. Go out there and search for IBs outside of South Africa. Search for IBs in Nigeria. Search for IBs in Namibia. Search for IBs in Botswana. I mean, hell, search for IBs in India, Pakistan. The world is your oyster. Rather than focusing too much on South African IBs, because I will tell you something that the quality of IB in South Africa has dropped. It's no longer like the good old days
Yeah,
where you can just easily get a good IB who's going to perform. All of
true.
the people who seem like they are good IBs, they want all of these ridiculous upfronts and all of this other
Yep.
nonsense and demands and all of that shit.
Yep.
So avoid that, man. Like, and remember as well, away to my brother, it's a numbers game, man. We're not in a sprint here. We in a marathon. And in a marathon, as long as you keep going until you reach the finish line, you are doing well. So I say to you, my brother, keep going, keep searching for IBs and don't limit yourself to only IBs. Go looking for IBs on LinkedIn. You'll get better quality IBs on LinkedIn than you'll ever get on Instagram.
100%.
I see
Um, the
there
last
Okay.
was another,
question.
there was something else. Let me just read it quickly. Prop firm can fail as most traders fail during the evaluation phase, where they have to hit profit targets like 8-10%. Meanwhile, they are asked to stay under a drawdown limit of 5% daily or 10% overall. Not realistic. It just adds time pressure and psychological stress. We are bound to overtrade if you do not have the psychology, and also losing accounts for breaking firm rules, e.g., only being allowed to take 2-3 trades at restricted times or taking overly risky positions. Man, this is so cool, and I'm so glad that you highlight this. As much as I don't necessarily agree with you in terms of what you've said in your message and your question, um, yes, it comes across as not realistic. However, it's how trading is actually supposed to be. You need to be disciplined enough where you are able to manage your account and manage the risk of a trading account the best way possible that you can. And the only way that you can actually learn this skill is through a prop firm account. Because, if you look at, real traders, I'm not talking about, the people that we see on Instagram and the full margin traders who trade fundamentals every day that we get in Africa or South Africa. Real traders trade, for example, with, let's say, 100,000 Rand. But then on that 100,000 Rand, they only risk a certain percentage of their account in order for them to actually become a successful trader. Because as a trader, if you every day risking your entire account, obviously you're going to have days of blowing your account every day or every time you deposit. So you want to have discipline in the form of risk management, and prop firm challenges teaches you that risk management. It might be a psychological stress and time pressure, but then the only reason why you are saying that is because you want to get rich quick. You want to put $1,000 and make $1,000,000. Whereas from $1,000, even if you make just $10, money that nobody would have given you, so a lot of people have their own opinions and what or on what prop firms are or how prop firms work, and over that, you are bound to overtrade. And obviously, when you overtrade, it's not good So prop firms teach you the discipline to not overtrade, because you say here you are bound to overtrade, and the only way you avoid overtrading is getting used to the prop firm trading environment where you've got rules and restrictions that keep you within certain, risk management metrics that allow you to be a real trader, not the nonsense that you see on Instagram. There's restrictions for a reason. Ideally, as a trader, those rules and regulations that prop firms come are actually designed to make you a better trader.
Yeah, thank you for that, guys. We have 5 minutes on the clock. I'd like us to conclude by Ayanda giving us his contact details. You can give us an email address if you're not comfortable giving us your phone number
Oh,
outrightly. But if
no,
you're cool with your phone
I'm
number,
perfect with.
yeah.
Ah, no problem at all. I love the phone, man. Like, please message me, WhatsApp me. If I don't respond, please don't be offended. I, sometimes per day I get hundreds of WhatsApps, and as I go through them, sometimes I miss messages. But then, like, if I do not respond, just send me another message. I'll surely get back to you.
All right. Ayanda, what is your takeaway? What can someone take away from this webinar if they didn't have a lot of time to listen to the 1 hour we've been having? And
Mm,
I've actually got, Mark has sent me his feedback because he's stepping out and driving back home, but he's told me to tell you that
yeah.
you touched on a very important topic for IBs. He's also an IB with HFM.
Mm.
And
Oh,
I
nice.
think I think he's also looking to diversify his IB business to other brokers as well, instead of just having one broker on his platform. So he says that we've touched on very important topics today, and he's very appreciative of your contribution. He'd love to listen from you once again. So we will love to host you again in the future. But what would be your last trading tip or takeaway, and the book that you would recommend for us to read on trading?
Look, all I can say is that the IB business is a great business. Trading altogether, is a great, way to combat poverty and lack of opportunities for income for people. If they learn enough and they do what they're supposed to be doing in order to make themselves either a successful IB or a successful trader and whatever it is. Um, Explore it, learn and do as what your business developer would teach you to do. If your business developer or your account manager or the person who introduces you to a broker is good enough, they need to be able to teach you these things. um the IB business is great, the IB business is lucrative. There's gangster money to be made in this industry. You just need to apply yourself, and you just need to do certain things that seem tedious or seem like repetition, but then this repetition is what actually makes you successful. So, guys, the IB business is wonderful. It's a great business. If you've got the opportunity to get into it, and as a business developer, I want to say to you, scale your business, grow from what you are. Don't be afraid to take the risk of, leaving the business development space to become a master IB, because as a master IB, that's where you will make a real money. Business developers on deposits or P&L normally get paid between 3%, maybe 5%. If you're extremely lucky, they'll give you 7, maybe 10. I've never heard of a situation of 10. But as a master IB, sometimes you can take away 50% of that revenue. So imagine if you're a master IB and you introducing clients to a broker, you've got 100,000 US dollars in deposits or P&L for the month and getting $50,000 of that money. That's life-changing money. Take the leap, You might not want to take it fully all at once at the very beginning, but then explore it. Go with a broker that has got a good master IB structure. Explore it. See how it can possibly work for you. And yeah, that's it. I think you muted, Sylvia.
When is our next session? I would like to have one of these maybe
Okay,
once a
guys.
week.
Yeah, that's all the time we had. Thank you, guys. Chibi, I'll reach out to
I'll
you.
speak to you on WhatsApp or waiting.
Yeah, for the next
Okay,
session, but
all right.
probably in 2026, guys. It's been real having you all, and we'll sure have Ayanda back on again for fireside chat. Mr. Chibi, I've sent you my WhatsApp number. We can engage further on WhatsApp. And yeah, that's all the time we had for tonight, guys. Thank you, Ayanda.